Well, well, well. What have we here? The EVATAC. More shovel than any one man could need in his pack. I'm James Walton, gear guru with SHTFpreparedness.com, and we are going to spend some time with the EVATAC today. You're going to see there's more to this little guy than meets the eye. This guy has got a lot going on, okay? It's got a lot going on. I want to say something right up front as we get into this, because this is an important statement for me to make. I am not a huge proponent of the sort of multitasker, one-size-fits-all survival gear. I'm not a huge fan of that stuff. And when I first saw the EVATAC, I said to myself, okay, what do we got here? I'm gonna be honest, I was a little ho-hum about it. Because let me show you. When I see a blade that has several different applications built into it, that's when I start to get nervous. You know, so we have the serrated edge. We've got, one of these is a sharpened edge. This guy here is a pretty decent sharpened edge. I see the hex bolts, I see the can opener, and I get nervous. I'm gonna be honest, I get a little worried. Because a lot of times you run into these survival, sort of every task tools, and they can tend to be a little dodgy when it comes to quality. Well, you know what? Let's not beat around the bush. They can be real dodgy. You gotta be careful. There is a lot of crap out there. The reason we're here with the EVATAC today is because it surprised me, and it is a high quality tool. You're not breaking this thing, all right? You're not breaking this thing. So it bends, or it's on a hinge so that it can fit, sort of similar to most shovels that you put in the backpack, right? Many of these backpack shovels will do this thing, sort of that military design. And this guy here, this little nut, is what sort of twists up to turn it into what it ultimately is, right? Which is a shovel. And it does a heck of a job. You know, the shovel portion of this thing does exactly what you need a shovel to do. The spade on this guy is serious steel. It's not going anywhere. You're not going to bend it. You're not going to break it. It's all one piece, which I like here. Folded, wrapped around, and secured right there by that bolt and that screw and that nut. And that's a big deal for me. So when I first got this thing, I took a look at it and I said, okay, this is what we're dealing with. We've got this serrated blade here. Like I said, we've got these bolts. This is a can opener. It has a little scale, measurement scale here. I think it's about, what is it, about 7 centimeters. Also a little quote on here: be strong when you are weak, brave when you are scared, and humble when you are victorious. There's a little bit of design that goes into this thing, you know? It's not just sort of the anodized black shovel for digging. There's some thought that went into this. You can see this little arrow design. That's kind of nice. They got the EVATAC logo there. I wasn't blown away by the performance of this serrated blade on a hardwood tree. You know, it looks gnarly. I wasn't really blown away by it. You know what I probably would use this for? This would probably be something I'd use to shred materials to make bird nest, or something that would help with tinder. It's probably what I'd most use this for. So this thing has a lot going on. It only looks like a shovel for now. But there are these other parts. Well, you know what? Let's not go into the parts and pieces. Let's talk about the other half of this guy, because that's where this thing really gets wild. Right? So you have this screw-off situation. When I saw that, I said, okay, what's the deal here? This guy's pretty deep. You know, you may be able to throw some tinder up in there with your fire steel. Okay, so we have this fire steel option. It throws great sparks. It does what it needs to do. What if you really want to get me as a reviewer, right? James, the guru gear guru guy for SHTFpreparedness.com. If you want to get me, throw a ferro rod in, because I'm just not happy with one. They're like potato chips for me. We've got a tiny button compass on the back. I don't know if you can see that, if that is going to focus for you or not, but got the button compass on the back. And listen, right here, compass, fire steel. Oh, the other side of this thing. So this guy comes out, and it's got a pretty cool little blue whistle in there. Right? Pretty decent. Legit. It'll get you heard if need be. So right here we have parts and pieces, and I said to myself, you know, this isn't a bad deal. This isn't a bad setup here, this situation. I'm in need of a pretty decent shovel, so this thing makes sense for me. I like the way that it locks in place. This isn't going to pop off by accident. This isn't going to break off, and that's really what you want in a good shovel. Aluminum handle. You know, this sort of almost like reminds me of my first set of dumbbells. the texture on here. So outside of these main components, right, we get this bag. And this bag has other things in it. It has some cool things in it. It has some things that I still haven't quite figured out yet. All right, so we've got a lot of cool things in this bag that give you the ability to sort of customize the EVATAC the way you want. Let's pull this guy off. So there's nothing on the end of him, right? We've got a flathead screwdriver here. This gnarly blade, which is pretty decent, pretty sharp. We've got these tools on the end. We've got another sort of can opener situation here. This serrated blade is highly effective. You might be able to see some of the cedar or pine rather that I have inside those serrated edges. I like this. This one I liked. So yeah, you could do things with this guy too. I think in general, what they were looking to achieve here was an extension for your shovel, right? So now you have the ability to sort of build this guy out a little longer even. Right, we can throw our fire steel in here. And this is where the EVATAC gives you something that not a lot of shovels that you pack up can give you. Right? I don't even know if that whole thing fits on camera. But that's a decent sized shovel right there. You know, that's going to fit in the backpack. You can get some good leverage on that. So that's kind of neat. Again, we're dealing with pretty thin aluminum here. So I have to imagine if I really got going into some ground and really started putting some pressure on that thing, it may not hold up under that pressure. I don't have anything all completely tightened up. So we've got this big long handle, and we've got several tools within that handle. The tools within that handle are effective. This guy could go in there too. I just didn't put him in there. I was hoping that on the opposite side there would be a Phillips head on that guy, to be honest with you. And that's okay. So that's what we're dealing with here, right? We're dealing with something that, at minimum, so if you decided not to take this, in other words, let's say you decided this guy wasn't worth it, right? You didn't want to add the weight, you didn't have the space in your bag. I'm currently carrying a Velox 2, and I've got more than enough space. But let's say you didn't want to carry that guy, you could go with this standard sort of setup here. And that's more than enough to get the job done from a shovel. The primary benefit of this thing here is the steel spade. The steel spade gives you an option. It folds down quickly and easily, and it's going to be around, right? It's going to be there to do the things that you want your shovel to do. It's going to fold down to carry well in your pack. And obviously that's benefit number one, right? This thing is a shovel, and they've created a shovel that's not going anywhere, right? It's essentially one piece of metal screwed in place by this guy, which is going to keep it where it needs to be. There's a washer here to make sure that we don't have any issues with those threads slipping. And really, that's your number one benefit. Outside of that, we've got tools for redundancy, right? We've got a blade inside here for redundancy, a serrated edge, a sharp blade, and then we've got fire redundancy in the ferro rod. You know, so for me, I've got a nice spade I can depend on. I've got redundancy in my blades. I've got redundancy in fire. Those three options are reason enough, you know what I mean, to call this thing a good quality item that's worth having in your pack. Outside of that, you're going to be able to assemble probably the longest shovel that anyone's going to carry with them. You know, this is going to make tasks that a normal sized shovel, what's going to make those tasks easier, right? Having a longer handle to work with. It's also kind of weapon-esque. You know, when you have a handle like this, you can kind of two-hand it if need be. I kind of like that. So yeah, those are the three things that I think stand out and sort of the bonus in this nice long handle, you know? So if you like the EVATAC, I want you to click the link below. It's an affiliate link. And SHTF Preparedness will receive a small commission if you purchase one of these. It's at no cost to you. You know, it won't add to the price or anything like that. This is a big deal because it allows us to make more of these videos. It allows us to really spend the time with the emergency and survival products that we enjoy reviewing. And we want to bring more of these reviews to you, right? We want to bring more products to you that'll keep you and your family safe in disaster. And that's what we're looking to do here at shtfpreparedness.com with these reviews, all right? So thanks so much for your support, and we'll see you next time.